Welcome back to the channel, Red Bull fans. It's a new season at Red Bull New York 2, and with Michael Bradley being promoted to the first team, there's a new head coach in charge, and his name is Dominik Wohlert. Wohlert was a first-team assistant with Sandro Schwarz last year, and at just 32 years old, he's a first-time head coach. Get to know Dominik Wohlert, and hope you guys enjoy the video. Welcome back, Red Bull fans. Today, we have the pleasure of talking to newest Red Bull New York 2 head coach Dominik Wohlert. Hopefully I said that right, coach.
Yes.
Just let's get right into this. Just, getting the head coach job, your first one in your career. Just talk about what this job ultimately means to you.
Yeah, definitely. A lot. I really appreciate the opportunity. It's a really important position. Since I joined Red Bull as first more on the video side, and then I became a assistant coach. And since my 4 years now with Red Bull, I feel really good in that place. I think we created here an environment with really good human beings with a lot of quality. I enjoy to come to work every day, and I have the feeling I can really learn every day. And even now, to come in my new position, I'm obviously really excited for this opportunity, and also for the trust people put into me. And now it's about trying to pay back with a lot of work, trying to make the guys better, trying to have the biggest commitment from all sides. And I really look forward to that big next chapter.
Well, people might notice that you were on the first team staff last year and the last 2 years on the bench. Just, once Sandro left, the whole staff was up in the air. Just talk about the process of going through the interview process to get the job with Red Bull 2.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of moving pieces, and even in my time here with Red Bull, there was after seasons. More often the conversation what would be also for me personally the next right step. In the years before, we always decided it makes sense to stay on the first team staff, and trying to make my next steps in that coaching team. So as you said, I joined under Gerhard Struber, was an assistant coach video analysis, and then I continue working in the staff from Troy Lesesne. And then my role got a little bit more, especially towards the field and more towards trainings planning, trainings execution, like leading training sessions in the 2 years under Sandro. So there was always a naturally progression, I would say, in my responsibilities. And I felt always that we spoke about that environment. I had always the feeling that it's still the right place. And as soon as the club offered me the position, I was really excited to take that opportunity. I think I had 14 years in professional football now, and now I'm really excited to put my own ideas into place, into action.
Yeah, you talked about being under Gerhard Struber, Troy Lesesne, and Sandro Schwarz. Just looking at them as the head guys, what did you kind of learn from all three of those guys that you can implement to yourself?
First of all, like I had the big privilege, actually, even in my time in Berlin, to work with really successful and great head coaches. So I had a time in Berlin with Jürgen Klinsmann, for example. I had Bruno Labbadia, Paul Dardai, just to mention a few like high experience coaches in the Bundesliga. And then I had also the privilege to work with the guys here, with Gerhard Struber, with his time with his experience in England, but also then in the world of Red Bull, and then Troy Lesesne with a completely different background, with a completely different approach. Also, more, I would say, Gerhard was more the Red Bull 1.0, like really high intensity pressing situations. Troy had the feeling he wanted to implement also a little bit more like quality with the ball. But had also a completely different style of leading the group, I would say. And then Sandro Schwarz was another excellent head coach, where I was able to work with him. And again, I learned a lot over the years, just different things. And it's not about like copying someone. It's more about seeing different styles and seeing small things where I had the feeling over the years I want to implement that in my idea, in my way of preparing a team and leading a team. And so I really value every experience under every head coach. Was a fantastic time until now, and now it's just a new chapter. So good so far.
Well, you talked about your time in Berlin. I mean, you obviously were a player yourself, and then you made the transition to your post career where you were a chief analyst and doing all the things behind the scenes before getting that assistant coaching job with Berlin. Just what does that club mean to you overall?
Berlin or Red Bull?
Berlin.
Berlin, yeah, it was a big part in my development. Obviously, there was definitely. I'm still thankful for Michael Preetz was back in the days the head of sports over there. I had Paul Dardai as a head coach. In the end, these two they gave me the opportunity to take my first steps into professional football, and so from a daily work, they gave me big responsibilities over time, and I like that was that was on them. Like obviously I had to show the quality, but in the end it's a big decision to to give responsibility to different people, and I think they were brave enough to do that, because back in the days I was still quite young. So I feel like that was definitely something what could have turned out in a different way, but they were brave enough. And for that, I'm really thankful. I had fantastic years. We qualified for Europa League. We played international soccer. Fantastic experience. But also on the flip side, we had moments where we fought relegation. So I think I saw a lot in the world of soccer, and all great experience. Hopefully, I can just use these experience now in my new role.
In that 21-22 season, you were on the staff at Berlin, and Paul obviously was let go. In that January kind of transition to 2022, you made the move to New York. Just how did that move kind of, process, and just give us the behind the scenes of how that actually came to be?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the situation was pretty simple. Even it was like even 6 months before, someone from Red Bull from the global team reached out to me, and I think over the years we did some good stuff in Berlin. So I think we built a reputation in the league that we have good people in place. And we were part of the expert group from the German Football Federation towards analytics. And so someone from Red Bull reached out to me and said, "Hey, I just hear and see more often your name. I would like to get to know you," and without even having a position ready, actually. And so we met, or we had phone calls and online calls like 2 or 3 times. And after that, he just said, "Hey, I would like to keep you in mind in case somewhere in the structure of Red Bull will be an open position." And and then I think 4 months later, he called me and said, "Hey, first of all, I was thinking more about Salzburg or Leipzig, but now we have an opening in New York. Could you think about that?" And I was still under contract with Berlin, so I was fine to go into that interview process and see where it takes us. So was a great experience, and in the end it felt right. And also the timing, I didn't know that in the beginning, obviously, when we started the process, but in the end it was a good timing also to step away from Hertha Berlin and start a new chapter with New York.
Well, you've been here for a while now. Just what's your impressions of New York and New Jersey as a whole?
I really like it. I really like the life. I really like the I decided to live close by the facility. Life is just, it feels different than life in Germany. I don't know if it's just because I'm foreigner and I'm living in my soccer bubble, I would say. So that might be the reason why I feel more relaxed, I would say. Not from not that I have not enough to do, but just from all the environment in the country, politics and whatever it is. And maybe it's just the situation that I really try to focus on my work and my daily stuff. So I'm living in the bubble and I really enjoy it. So I'm not focusing on a lot of problems outside, just trying to do the best job I can. And that was always since I started working for Red Bull, actually.
Lastly, before we transition back to getting the head coaching job, obviously your dad was a pro player as well. Just talk about his influence on you and kind of how he got you into the sport, because I feel like that's mostly how guys get into soccer nowadays is if their dad's in there.
Yeah, yeah, you mentioned it. I was lucky enough. I had the privilege to, yeah, to go in the stadium to watch my dad when I was young. As a player, he played Bundesliga and second division, and that was a fantastic time. So obviously, when I grew up, I wanted to be like him. He was my role model. He's in some ways he still is. So we have a really good relationship, even now, even when he lives in Germany and I live obviously here in the States. But we try to connect every day. We talk a lot about soccer. We talk a lot about about the things I experienced, and obviously, especially back in the day, especially in my beginning, he was really helpful to give me feedback on my work, give me feedback on the business where I was about to get into. But now, obviously, that changed. I made my own experiences. I think I gained a lot of knowledge on the journey I had, and that was my personal journey that had nothing to do with him. But still, I just enjoy talking with him about soccer, about the game. So he's also similar, like me. He's a bit crazy in a positive way. So we can talk a lot about soccer, and that's just the most enjoyable thing. And outside from that, it's like definitely my dad, but also my mom, my sister. We are really close, and family means a lot for me.
So you're coming into this Red Bull team that won a championship last year under Michael Bradley. Michael gets the job with the first team. You're coming in now. He ran a 4-3-3 kind of style with a diamond in the midfield. Just what's your overall, style of play gonna look like, if you can share any bits of tactics that you're looking to go into the season with?
No, I think we like Ibra Sakaya and Michael did a fantastic job in the last season, and I feel like when you see the style of play they implemented, it was great football. Like I think everyone who went to the games, everyone enjoyed the way they played, and I think that's how we also see our football right now. How we want to continue. We want that people come to the games and that they go home excited. And it sounds weird, but we want to come to a situation that kind of the result is becoming a byproduct. So we want to be really focused on our performance. We want to be a high intensive team. No doubt about that. That's kind of when you see Red Bull, we want to keep that for sure. But also we want to enter the next step. We want to value the ball more. We want to find different solutions. We want to be creative in ball possession. And I think obviously these things takes time, but we have the right people also here in the staff around in different positions, and we feel good about the next development step for our boys.
Red Bull 2 has had the history of taking guys from the academy or other, means of bringing younger players into the club and kind of giving them that pathway to the first team, like an Adri Mehmeti last year and Rafa Mosquera as well. Just talk about that philosophy and how you kind of look to continue that trend going forward.
Yes, a big part. I would say when you think about Red Bull, it comes quickly to your mind that Red Bull has a proven history about like young, talented players not being scared to give them game minutes, MLS Next Pro, or even then later in the first team environment, and that has to be Red Bull. Like we want to be brave. We want to be sometimes also in some ways kind of the rule breakers who are doing something different than other teams. And I think that's definitely something how we approach, for example, the MLS Next Pro team is we really try to create value for the club. I think there are different approaches from other teams. We have a high priority on the second team, and we definitely want to work with the guys. We want to push them to the next environment. We just try to create an environment where the guys can develop. We will try to push them. We will try to give them all the support they need. And in the end, it comes down to everyone individual. They have to make the steps. They have to make the right development steps. But again, we try to create a setup where everyone is able to progress in the right direction. And then again, it comes down to Ibra and Michael. They did a fantastic job last year to develop 2, 3, 4, 5 players who were able, even in the end of the last season already, they trained a lot with the first team already, with us back in the day. So I think the club, they did a fantastic job, and we want to continue that journey. We want to develop the next guy, the next Andre Rojas, the next Rafa Mosquera, and we're trying to build on that for sure.
Talking about your coaching staff, you added U18 coach Jonathan Rhodes to your staff, and you've also retained Miguel Gutierrez as the goalkeeper coach. Just talking about them, what do they bring to the table, especially Rhodes, who is the U18 coach and kind of helps that transition from that U18 team to the second team.
Absolutely. Like now, I'm really happy that Jonathan is with us, because he has a big history in being a successful academy head coach, and obviously sometimes to have the head coach view still in the stuff. So it's really interesting, really helpful for me. I even in the first days, in the first weeks, we connect pretty well. I'm really looking forward to how it progresses in the next weeks and months, and I'm really happy so far, because we are able to discuss on a good level about different topics. He has a big knowledge about youth players who joining our training sessions. So just really helpful, especially again in the connection to the academy. We spoke about we want to continue to push guys onto the second team. We want to continue the pipeline and open the pipeline for young talents. And for that, we have to make sure that we also communicate properly, that we have a good connection from second team to academy, from second team to first team. And it feels like I balance really good the first team, second team communication, and Jonathan is doing a fantastic job on the second team to academy side. So that's super helpful. And in terms of Miguel, was a no-brainer to keep him on board. It's just a fantastic human being, comes every day with the right energy, and is also really good and talented in the job he's doing with the guys. So everyone from Red Bull is speaking highly about him. So I was really excited to keep him in our staff. Yeah.
As the preseason is underway in the early days, the roster isn't complete by any means. But when you're looking at players that should be coming in, or you guys are targeting for this season, what type of player are you guys looking for?
I think we really look for players who are where's the desire that they have the quality to end up one day in the first team environment. So there has to be obviously a certain quality. So we want to hit that. And it's about, obviously, we prioritize, I would say, always our academy first to see what kind of profiles, what kind of position we have in the pipeline to push through. But then there will be naturally also a few positions where we maybe struggle. So just an example, we played, or the academy played the last years, a lot of 4-2-2-2 system with inverted wingers. Now we definitely want to add also the wingers who can play high and wide, who are able to solve 1-against-1 situations, and that might be a profile where we try to go and look outside. But I think good things are in the making, and we will communicate as soon as we have more to report.
The signing of Thomas Hood was announced today, so that means you guys have 2 goalies on second team contracts, plus the 2 goalies on the first team contracts in Aiden Stokes and Tobias Toby as they call him. But just what's your overall plan or initial plan with those 4 keepers right now? How do you envision those guys going forward?
I think first of all the good thing is that we have that kind of quality goalkeepers in our group, and also in the first team environment. Like when you think about Toby, when you think about Aiden Stokes, it's fantastic to be in that age, but still being every day in team training for the first team. So obviously we hope that they make also from team training already the next step. And even I had the great situation that I was able to still travel with the first team into the first trainings camp, and I was able to see just the training sessions, and I was able to connect obviously with the new stuff. But it gave me also the chance to see Thomas, for example, with the first team, and I think it's just another high talented goalkeeper, which we try to add which we added to our roster. And then also having Austin, who performed fantastic in the last year's playoff one. So the idea is obviously trying to create a situation where we have the quality in place, doesn't matter who's playing, that we have the right one who can, we have the right presence, who can lead the back line. I think that's a high priority, but also having a competition. I think it's we don't want to come in a situation where someone is just getting the goal. I think we want to compete, and we have the desire or the belief that competition leads into development. So we have to compete, we have to challenge the guys, and then they will get better. So that's the idea with that.
Another player that I like to highlight is Paul Sokolov. He signed his first pro contract this year. Just still very young at 16 years old. Just what are your first impressions of him, and how do you see him in your lineup? Is he going to be in that midfield? Is he going to be out wide? What are you looking for?
The nice thing with Paulie is really, and again, that's the good thing that I am also a few years already around. So it's not that Paulie is new to me. So I know him for the one other year. So I was able to see him already in training in games from the academy, and that's definitely a plus. Also in my connection directly with him on a personal base. But obviously, Paulie has an interesting profile. He, as you said, he's super young, but he's having a skill set where we think it would be interesting to expose him to a new environment. And that's, we see something one day that could come out in the first team. Obviously, there has to a lot of work. We have to shape him in the way we want. But there is definitely the talent what we see. And with Paulie, the interesting thing is that he's able to play multiple positions. So even there, I think he gives us possibilities to see what the opponent will ask us, and maybe we can tweak things around with him, sometimes being a winger, sometimes being in a midfield position, and we can create different solutions with him. So that's always helpful. It's always helpful for a match plan situation. And again, like a high talented player, we try to create the right environment, and now it comes down to the player to make the right steps.
Only a week or two into preseason, first time as the head man on the training pitch. Just how has that transition been for you in like the training environment? Do you kind of, look at it and kind of try to get involved? Or are you trying to, what's your kind of philosophy in training?
Yeah. The good thing is I was able, again, that was on Sandro, but I was able to lead over the 2 years every day the training sessions, and he picked his moments when he jumped in. So that definitely helped me. I had over the last years the chance to plan the training sessions, to be in charge for that. And it just gave me a good preparation, I would say, for the situation now. Obviously, it's still a little bit different in a way, because you are now the one who's completely in charge, and there's nobody where you have to, I would say, you have to think always as an assistant coach a little bit, how do you approach the players, or what is the right step? Do I overstep my responsibilities a bit? And obviously when the head coach is on the field, there are certain moments where he goes in and he sets the tone, and that was perhaps the biggest change now, to realize yeah, that I'm the one now, and I can lead the sessions completely how I want. I can go in directions how I want. I can pause when I want. I can so I'm the one who's in charge, and that's my idea. I'm really enjoying the trainings work. That's the best part of the day. Obviously, we have a lot of hours in the office, but the most enjoyable thing is when we actually go on the field and we execute all the things we planned in the office. So again, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy training, leading training sessions. I really enjoy working with the guys, but still, I want to say I have had a fantastic team around, and there's every day we have our morning meeting, and everyone has roles and responsibilities, and there will be moments where also Jonathan is taking over certain drills, and I enjoy watching a little bit more. And yeah, I think we found over the first days and weeks, we found a good communication with each other, a good organization, which works for us so far. And I'm really positive in the way we started the new chapter.
Now we'll just kind of look at this whole season as a big picture. Just, every coach, every player expects to win and lift the trophy at the end of the season. But for you, looking at this season, your first as a head coach, what would be a successful season for you?
Again, I would like to come back to the situation with our talented group. We want to push as many players in the end of the season to a first team contract. So that is our main idea. I still believe success result wise is possible to pair it also with success in a player's development. But again, like I think we have a new team. It will be a new group. And I think the right thing to do is really focusing first off on the group, trying to create a strong relationship, and then going step by step. It sounds weird, and maybe you heard that already a bunch of times, but let's go match by match. I'm not the one who's always dreaming. And in case you would have asked me 6 months from today before, I never thought about like now in 6 months I will become a head coach. I think I just try to invest everything I can each day, and I'm not the one who likes to dream, who likes to like. I believe in work. I believe in the right environment, and that's what I can influence each day. So I just want to make sure that we as a group or us, we don't get distracted by dreaming too much. So I think again, hard work, and then match by match we will see. And when the season progresses, then we will see where we stand, and all of us will have a better feeling. And then it might be a situation where we really talk about goals for the season.
Well, Dominik, this has been a great time. I just want to end this interview with one last question, kind of just to get to know you a bit more. If you had the ability to eat only one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Um, I think I would go. As a German, I have to say that I think I would go with mashed potatoes and with schnitzel.
Okay.
I think that that's great. Every time when I come home, like my mom has to do that for me. Sadly, it's not just around Christmas, around that time, like once in a year. But yeah, definitely, I enjoy the German kitchen, and yeah, I think I would go in this direction.
Thank you very much, Dominik, and have a great season upcoming.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks for your time. Have a great rest of the day. Okay.
Thank you, sir.